We've made it to the last video. Let's get to it. So I say I'll give you practical information. It's true. I will give you some practical information. I don't know if it will help you or not. But the first thing is to demystify some of the terms you will hear regarding the microbiota. Prebiotics, probiotics, fiber, what is it all? Well, a probiotic is a living microbe you eat or put on you that gives you a health benefit. That's the actual definition of a probiotic. And I think of this as like throwing plants into a forest, throwing trees into a forest. Something good might happen, but it's not going to change the forest. And the other thing about probiotics is that they're not regulated like drugs, so someone can label a product a probiotic without proving that it has any effect, without even needing to prove that the cells are alive. So probiotic products are kind of a wild west of nonsense. Some of them do help people with digestion and like relieving constipation and things like that. That's pretty well established. But anything about immune support or making people smarter or mental health or anything like that is probably based on a kernel of some study somewhere, but essentially as a product, I would assume they are garbage and I wouldn't pay for probiotics. Unless I had chronic constipation or something like that. And prebiotics are different. These are carbohydrates we eat that feed our microbiota. Well, that means they must get all the way through our digestive system without being digested or absorbed. So these are weird. And this is adding food for our microbiota. So I think of this as like cranking up sunlight and carbon dioxide and water on a forest. Just giving it more of what a forest needs. Well, that may change the forest. It may be in a good way or a bad way. But prebiotics are things like inulin. If you could look up inulin, I-N-L-U-N-I-N. No, I spelled that wrong. I-N-U-L-I-N. Inulin. And fructooligosaccharides from onions. Those are prebiotics you can get at a grocery store usually. Word to the wise, if you're going to eat a prebiotic that is purified, like if you get inulin from Amazon, you will get flatulence from that. The bacteria in your colon will be so happy they will bless you with gas. That's happy bacteria right there. And then dietary fiber is really anything, any plant material you eat that you don't digest. It goes all the way through you. And that helps with things like constipation and functioning of the colon. And some of them are prebiotics that feed the microbes, but most dietary fiber is not prebiotic. Something horrific to think about is that our microbiota goes extinct. And there may be really good bacteria that would help us digest our food, but if we don't eat the right foods, we don't have bacteria that can digest those foods. So that's all I wanted to say about that, is that they could go extinct. And it's possible that we can't get them back. So if I decide someday to stop eating ramen for every meal and start eating good things, I don't know what will happen. That was a joke. Okay. And I think what I want to end with is like my microbiologist friends. What do we do with our knowledge of the microbiota? How does that change us? Well, number one, the main thing is microbiologists who give birth have a plan for cesarean section, and they want to seed the newborn with vaginal and perineal bacteria. So they will prepare to do a swab and swab the newborn's mouth to approximate what would have happened if the baby had been born vaginally. Does that have a big effect on the newborn's life? No one knows. No one knows. But I remember when we had our first kid, we were just thinking, how can we give this kid every opportunity and every little advantage they can possibly have, and why ignore the bacteria? Fecal microbiota transplants make perfect sense to microbiologists. The microbiota is so complex, we don't have tools to fix it. Replacing it with one that works might be the best option. And we do think about the microbiota when we decide what to eat. We think about feeding our microbes. It might not shock you. And I don't think microbiologists buy many probiotic products. Stuff you could think about, fecal transplants, you want to know what they are, and that is the end of these videos. I'll just leave you on this slide. You can read about it if you want to, but I don't think I'll test you on fecal transplants. Okay, thanks for your attention. If you made it all the way here, you deserve a cookie. Go get a cookie. Okay, bye-bye.